I pretended to lose my memory. And that's when my family finally started telling me the truth. It started with my son whispering to his wife in the kitchen. They thought I couldn't hear. They were wrong. She doesn't even remember what day it is, she said, laughing soft, like gilt in pearls. And my son, my own blood, replied, "Good, makes the paperwork easier." Paperwork. That's what I became. So I played the part they wrote for me. I stared at walls, forgot names, called the dog by my late husband's name. Every mistake they smiled at, I wrote down later in the notebook I kept under the cushion. Then one afternoon, my daughter-in-law leaned close and said, "You know, Mom, when people forget enough, they stop owning things, bank accounts, houses, memories." She didn't see my reflection in the glass cabinet. I wasn't forgetting, I was recording. And when they thought I was too far gone to notice the lawyer's visit, I was already planning my own. See, pretending to lose your mind is a powerful thing. People show you who they really are. When they think you can't remember what they did, stay till the end. You'll see why pretending was the smartest thing I ever did. The doctor's words still echo somewhere behind my ribs. Memory loss, supervision, early signs. Michael repeats them like a prayer he doesn't believe in. "Just rest, Ma," he says, patting my shoulder like I'm porcelain. His touch feels rehearsed. I watch him drive away with Elise beside him, her windows halfway down. Her perfume lingers longer than her goodbye. When the car turns the corner, the house exhales, and so do I. I walk through the kitchen, counting footsteps. 7 to the sink, 3 to the window, same as yesterday. If I were losing my memory, I wouldn't remember that. Elise's voice still rings in my ears from breakfast. "Mom, let us handle the bills this month. It's easier that way." Easier for who? The stack of mail sits unopened by the fruit bowl. I pick it up, sift through carefully. Bank statements, property tax, insurance, one envelope already torn open, not by me. Inside, a letter addressed to Michael Hayes. Joint account update. I press the edge of the paper until it bites my thumb. Then I fold it neatly and slide it into the recipe book under lemon pie. She never bakes. She'll never look there. Footsteps echo outside. Elise, back early. I pour tea, let the steam fog the air between us. "Everything all right?" she asks. "Just reading," I say. She peers at the mail pile, doesn't notice the missing letter. Her smile is small, sharp. "You don't need to worry about paperwork anymore." "I know," I reply, taking a slow sip. "That's your talent, isn't it?" She doesn't flinch, just straightens her blouse. "We're family, Mom." Family. A word that sounds holy until you hear it from a liar. After lunch, I walk to my room. The photo frame of Michael as a boy sits crooked on the shelf. I fix it, then notice the ring dish beneath it, empty. My wedding band is gone. I open drawers, check the nightstand. Nothing. A breeze slides through the half-open window. Did she open it? Or did I? I stand still, listening. In the distance, the grandfather clock ticks like an accusation. Downstairs, I hear the hum of Elise's voice. She's on the phone. "Kyokyo, the appraiser said next month's fine." "Yes," after she signs the transfer. A pause. No, she won't question it. She's not all there anymore. Not all there. The words land like ice water behind my ribs. I step back before she notices me. My reflection in the hallway mirror looks calm, older, unreadable. Inside, the quiet part of me whispers, "Don't react yet." By evening, the house smells of chicken broth and strategy. Michael returns, his smile soft, his eyes harder. He places a folder on the table. "Mom, you need to sign this, just insurance stuff." I open it. No header, no logo, just a blank line waiting for my name. "Elise said you already signed the first part." "I did?" I ask softly. He nods, kind but firm. "Don't overthink it." I don't. I simply close the folder and hand it back. "I'll do it tomorrow," I say, after my pills. He nods again. Disappointed that I remembered. After dinner, I wash dishes alone. Elise hums upstairs. Michael watches TV, volume low, news anchors mouthing words he's not hearing. His phone lights up beside him. A message flashes across the screen before fading. Document ready. Proceed with notarization. I dry my hands, walk to the hallway, and whisper to myself, they think I'm dissolving. Then I write it down on a torn grocery list. They think I'm dissolving. Later that night, when the house goes still, I move quietly. In the study, the filing cabinet's lock is turned but not clicked. I slide it open. Inside, copies of my signature. Perfect. Fluid. Forged. Next to it, a small voice recorder sits blinking red. I press play. Elise's voice fills the room. She won't even notice when it's done. She'll thank us. Then Michael's. Lower. She already does. Every time she smiles. I press stop. The silence afterward hums like electricity. I tuck the recorder back exactly where it was. Let them believe I never found it. When I return to my room, the moonlight lies across my bed like folded truth. I sit down, steady hands on my lap. In the mirror, I see calm eyes, not confused ones. Not yet. Not ever. Tomorrow, I'll start forgetting. Officially. I'll miss names, misplace objects, repeat questions. I'll become what they need me to be. Fragile, fading, harmless. But tonight, I'm still me. And I've just found the first thread in their little tapestry of lies. I pick up my notebook, clean pages, perfect lines, and write the first sentence that matters. They think they're taking care of me. They don't know I'm about to take everything back. Then I close it, smile, and whisper into the dark. Good night, children. That's the thing about pretending. It only works if you know exactly what you're pretending to be. Morning comes too softly, the kind of light that hides dust instead of showing it. I hear them downstairs before I smell the coffee. Elise is laughing, a little too bright. Michael's voice murmurs something I can't catch. I count to 10 before opening my door. Old habit from years of letting storms settle before walking into the room. Elise greets me with that same honeyed tone. Morning, Mom. How'd you sleep? Like a baby, I lie. Woke up every hour crying. She laughs politely, doesn't get the joke. The table is already set. Toast, eggs, my pills lined up like soldiers. I take them one by one, swallowing lies with breakfast. Michael glances at the clock. We have a meeting at 10. Someone's coming to appraise the property. Appraise? I echo. For what? He hesitates. Just insurance valuation, Ma. Routine. Elise nods too quickly. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. The phrase people use when there's everything to worry about. After they leave, I wander through the house, touching things that used to belong to memory. My sewing kit is gone. The antique vase from my mother's attic. Gone, too. In their place, new furniture appears, glossy, soulless, catalog smiles. The house feels dressed for sale. I sit on the couch, hands still. The clock ticks louder. On the mantel, a photo of Michael and Elise stands crooked. I straighten it, then notice what's behind it. An envelope unsealed. Inside, purchase offer, preliminary. Buyer, Elise Harper Hayes. Seller, Michael Hayes, acting guardian. I don't breathe. Just fold it back, perfectly, like a secret too early to announce. When they return, I'm folding laundry in the living room, quiet, deliberate. Michael kisses my forehead. You've been busy. Laundry helps me remember, I say softly. He smiles. What's there to remember, Ma? Who I am. He laughs it off, walks to the study. Elise watches me longer than she should. You shouldn't strain yourself, she says. I'm fine. Her eyes flick toward the cabinet. Oh, by the way, you didn't go through any of the documents, did you? Documents? In the study. I tilt my head. Why would I? Just asking, she says too fast. That's how guilt sounds when it's trying to pretend it's curiosity. After they leave for the evening, I test a theory. I place my teacup on the counter, leave a spoon beside it. When I come back an hour later, both are gone. washed, dried, and rearranged, like evidence erased. They're cleaning more than dishes. They're cleaning me. I pour another cup, sit by the window, and whisper to no one. They're preparing to live in a house I still own. A text buzzes on my phone. Unknown number. This is Mrs. Harper's attorney. Please confirm tomorrow's signing. I stare at the screen until it locks again. My fingers don't shake. My breath doesn't rise. I just write it all down. Later, when Michael gets home, he leans against the doorway. "You all right, Ma?" "I'm fine," I say. "Had a quiet day." He nods, glances at the table. "You didn't take your evening pills." I look at the untouched glass of water beside them. Didn't feel like it. They help your memory. I haven't forgotten who I am. He smiles, tired. Of course you haven't. When he leaves, I slip the pills into my pocket. Bright white, identical, unmarked. Tomorrow I'll have them tested. If they're harmless, I'll sleep better. If they're not, I'll sleep lighter. That night, the air feels thick with secrets. I open my window, breathe the cool honesty of outside. Below, in the driveway, their car gleams. New, expensive, too new for their salaries. I whisper to the wind, "Bought with someone else's future, didn't you?" The moon doesn't answer, but the world feels like it's listening. When I go to bed, I leave the hallway light on. Shadows move different when they know they're being watched. And lying there, in that hush between sleep and suspicion, I make my first real decision since this all began. I won't confront them. Not yet. I'll observe, record, collect. Because betrayal always reveals itself. You just have to give it enough silence to echo in. I close my notebook, place it under the pillow, and whisper the words that will change everything. That's when I started watching. I stop correcting them. When Michael calls me sweetheart instead of mom, I smile like it fits. When Elise repeats my stories to guests as if they're hers, I let her. Silence is cheaper than confrontation, and twice as useful. Days move like polite ghosts. I wake early, fold towels no one asked for, make tea no one drinks. My small rituals become my cover. People trust a woman who seems busy doing nothing. At breakfast, Michael reads the paper upside down, pretending he's not watching me watch him. Elise scrolls her phone. "We're going to the notary later," she says. "Just finalizing some updates." I nod. "Good idea. Keeps things tidy." She doesn't hear the weight in that word. Tidy. The house hums with quiet coordination. Two conspirators rehearsing innocence. When they whisper in the kitchen, I hum in the living room, soft enough to make them think I'm lost in melody. They don't know I can hear every word through the vent above the stove. "Do it soon," Elise says, "before she changes her mind." Michael answers, "She won't. She thinks we're helping." I pour more tea. The sound of water hitting porcelain hides my laughter. That afternoon, I fold clothes in the laundry room, a small symbolic act that keeps my hands calm. Folding has rhythm. Crease, flatten, stack. It's what you do when you're rebuilding from fragments. In one of Michael's shirts, I find a receipt. Jewelry store, dated last week. One-line item. Diamond bracelet. Engraved. Not my birthday. Not our anniversary. Someone else's reward. I fold the shirt carefully, tuck the receipt inside it, and return it to his drawer. He'll find it later and wonder if I noticed. He won't ask. Cowards never do. Evenings stretch long. They watch television. I knit by the lamp. My needles click steady, same pace as my heart. I watch them laugh at sitcoms about happy families, people pretending to love each other for a camera. We all play our parts well. Elise begins calling me Mom more often. A rehearsed sweetness. Her eyes don't match her voice. They dart to my tea, to my notebook, to the cabinet I lock now. Trust has a scent, and she's sniffing for it. "Do you remember where the deed is, Mom?" she asks one night. I look up slowly. "What deed?" "The house deed." I blink, smile. "Oh, honey." I forget things these days. Her shoulders drop with relief. She believes it. That's when I know my performance is working. Later, I take out the real deed, the original, untouched, tucked inside my husband's Bible. The edges are worn, the ink strong. I slide it back in and whisper, "You'd be proud, Harold. I'm learning to act." Sometimes I walk the hallways just to hear the floorboards speak. Old wood tells you who's coming before they arrive. Tonight, the boards groan twice, once soft, once sharp. Footsteps outside my door. Elise's shadow lingers beneath the crack of light. I keep my breathing even. After a moment, the shadow leaves. The handle never turns. Not tonight. When the clock hits midnight, I rise quietly and check the front drawer. Inside, my ring, polished clean. Returned, like guilt disguised as mercy. I slip it on, let it rest heavy on my finger. It doesn't feel like forgiveness. It feels like evidence. By morning, I'm ready for whatever comes next. I eat slower. Speak less. Smile more. Every calm gesture is another stitch in the web I'm weaving. I used to think control meant speaking louder. Now I know better. Control means whispering so softly that people lean in. And forget you're the one listening. That's my new hobby, listening. And when the truth comes calling, as it always does, I plan to answer like a lady. With tea, with silence, and with proof. Morning sunlight cuts through the blinds like it's searching for witnesses. I'm in the kitchen, spooning sugar into my tea, when the knock comes. 3 short taps, official, practiced. When I open the door, a man in a gray suit stands there, clipboard in hand. "Morning, ma'am. I'm from Martin & Kober Appraisals, here to evaluate the property." "Of course," I say, stepping aside. "My son mentioned you." He nods politely and walks through, snapping photos. Every flash feels like a small theft, proof of something I never agreed to sell. Elise appears, smiling like hospitality itself. "Oh, you found us. We've been expecting you." She hands him a folder before I can blink. I catch the top page as he flips it open. Transfer authorization. Owner. May Hayes. Owner. Present tense. But the signature below already bears my name. I don't speak. I just watch. When he leaves, Elise closes the door softly. Like guilt needs quiet. Michael joins her in the hallway, murmuring, "She didn't even notice." My tea is still steaming on the counter. I sip it slow, letting the taste of betrayal cool against my tongue. Later, they leave for errands, or plotting, depending on the hour. The house exhales again. I take their absence like medicine. In the study, the same folder lies half open on the desk. Inside, my forged signature on multiple documents, bank transfers, sale agreements, medical directives, each one dated weeks before my supposed diagnosis. I sit down, breathe once. The room smells of ink and arrogance. At the bottom of the stack sits a small digital recorder. Same model as before. Curiosity clicks louder than fear. I press play. Elise's voice bright and careful. She'll sign eventually. She's halfway gone already. Michael's reply, lower, tired. "Just don't make me feel like a thief." "You're not a thief, love," she says sweetly. "You're a son taking responsibility." A pause. Then his sigh. "Still feels like stealing." "Then don't call it that." Silence. The sound of papers shuffling. Then Elise again, colder. "When she's gone, you'll thank me." I press stop. My thumb lingers on the button. Gone. Such a small word for erasure. I rewind, listen again. Not for their words, but for their tones. Hesitation, fear, calculation. They don't love me. They need me gone to own what I built. I don't cry, I don't even blink. Grief has already burned itself out. All that's left is clarity. I take a sheet of paper from the drawer and start listing what I know. The lawyer's name, the bank branch, the false notary, the witness signatures. 2 names I recognize from church. It's all there, like a confession written in someone else's handwriting. I fold the documents, slide them into a plain brown envelope, and seal it with a strip of tape. Then I label it simply proof. When they return that evening, I'm sitting on the porch, knitting. The envelope rests under the cushion beside me. Michael looks relieved to see me calm. Elise asks, "Everything all right, Mom?" "Of course," I say. "I had a quiet day." We eat dinner like strangers pretending to be family. She compliments the roast. He checks his watch. When Michael reaches for the salt, I catch the faint tremor in his hand. He's already guilty. He just doesn't know what of yet. After dishes, Elise hums upstairs while Michael lingers. He looks at me with that boyish concern that used to melt me. "Ma, you know we only want what's best for you, right?" I smile. "I know, son." "You trust us?" "Completely," I lie, and it lands smooth as silk. When he finally leaves the room, I whisper into the empty air, "I trusted you with my life. You settled for my house." Later, when the clock hits midnight, I light a candle in the study. Not for prayer, but precision. I copy each forged document by hand, tracing their lies with perfect penmanship. Then I place my own letter on top. It begins, "To whom it may concern, if anything happens to me, look for the truth in my son's good intentions." I seal it, sign it, and slide it under the floorboard beneath my desk. Old houses keep secrets well. Standing there in the candlelight, I see my reflection in the glass cabinet. Calm. Still. Patient. That's the moment I stop being their victim. Revenge doesn't start with rage. It starts with paperwork. And mine is flawless. I blow out the candle, whispering to the dark, "Tomorrow I'll begin collecting names." The flame dies, leaving the faint scent of smoke, the smell of something about to start burning, and that's when I make my vow. They wanted to write me out of my own story. Now I'll make sure they're the ones erased. By morning, the world pretends to be normal again. The coffee pot gurgles, sunlight spills over the sink, and betrayal hides behind small talk. Elise hums in the kitchen. "We might go see the lawyer today. Quick errand." "Which lawyer?" I ask. She freezes half a second too long. "Oh, just routine estate maintenance." She smiles, bright and brittle. I nod, taking a slow sip. "Wonderful." "Keep me updated." Her relief is a confession all by itself. When they leave, I wait 10 minutes, then dial a number I haven't called in years. "Hello?" The voice is warm, cautious. "Pastor Grant." "Pastor," I say gently. "You still keep church records?" "Of course, May. Why?" "I just needed to check something. The witness book from last month's charity signing. You remember who notarized that?" He hesitates. "Elise brought the papers, said they were for you. 2 signatures, mine and her friend Kathy's. Why?" "Just confirming," I say. My tone stays mild. My heartbeat does not. I hang up, then write in my notebook. Forgery verified. Witness confirmed. By noon, I'm dressed and outside for my walk. It's not a walk, it's reconnaissance. The bank sits 3 blocks away. Pale brick and tinted glass. The kind of place that confuses kindness with interest rates. Inside, the air smells of paper and perfume. A young teller greets me. "Good afternoon, Mrs. Hayes." "You remember me?" I ask. "Of course. Your son handles most of your accounts now. We just processed the transfer." "Did he?" I say softly. "And what exactly did he transfer?" She leans closer, whispering, "Just consolidating into the joint savings. Said you requested it." "Ah," I smile. "Yes, my memory isn't what it used to be." Her face softens. "We're happy to help." "I'm sure you are," I whisper. Outside, I stand still for a moment, wind tugging at my scarf. The truth isn't hiding. It's printed on letterhead. When I return home, the car is back in the driveway. Elise's laughter echoes inside. Too loud, too forced. I pause by the door, listening. "The account's locked in now," she says. "Nothing she can do." Michael's voice answers, lower, uneasy. "It feels wrong." She snaps. "You think she'd leave us anything? You're her son, not her heir." The words hit like quiet thunder. I step inside, calm, composed. "Oh," I say, "you two are home early." Elise's smile cracks. "We were just talking about you." "I assumed," I reply. "People usually are." That night, I sit in bed writing while the house sleeps. Every sound becomes data. Every whisper. Every drawer opening. I've stopped being their mother. I've become their historian. 2 days later, the nurse, Anna, returns. She adjusts my medication tray and whispers, "I switched 2 bottles. Just vitamins now." Her eyes meet mine. "I didn't believe what they said about you. I've seen your kind before. Smart women they call confused." Her voice trembles. "Be careful." "I am," I tell her, "but thank you for believing me." She nods, tucks a small note into my hand. A phone number. "Private investigator," she whispers. "He helps my aunt sometimes." When she leaves, I unfold the paper. Cole Mercer, discretion assured. That evening I call. A man answers, voice steady. "Mercer." "Mr. Mercer," I say, "I need to know who's pretending to be me." He meets me the next morning at the diner on Main Street. Public enough for safety. Private enough for sin. He listens while I speak, saying little. When I finish, he nods. "Give me a week. If they forged your signature, I'll find where it led." "Take this," I say, sliding him a list of dates. He glances at it. "You've already done half my job." I smile. I've been practicing. A week passes slow and heavy. Elise grows careless, humming expensive songs, wearing new jewelry she swore she couldn't afford. Michael stays quiet, guilt hollowing his face. Then, one afternoon, Mercer's envelope arrives. Plain, thin, devastating. Inside, photos of bank documents, wire transfers, and one image that steals my breath. Elise, seated across from the appraiser, shaking hands over a contract labeled Property Sale Agreement, pending owner consent. Attached is a note. They're liquidating. "You've got 2 weeks before the sale clears. Suggest you make a move." I fold the photos, slide them into the same Bible that hides the deed. Then I pour tea, calm as ceremony. Elise walks in, mid-pour. "What are you smiling about?" she asks. "Oh, nothing," I say, "just remembering things." She laughs nervously. "Good. Memory's a funny thing, isn't it?" "Funny," I echo, "and sometimes fatal." She tilts her head, uncertain whether it's a threat or a slip. I keep pouring. The tea spills over slightly, just enough to stain the saucer red-brown. When she leaves the room, I whisper to the empty cup. They wanted to erase me. Instead, I've learned how to become invisible. And invisibility in the hands of a patient woman isn't weakness, it's strategy. Tomorrow, I'll start phase 2. It's time to let them believe they've already won, because that's when people stop hiding their mistakes and start handing you evidence with both hands. Rain comes before dawn, steady and polite. By the time the light reaches the curtains, the air smells clean, ready for truth. I wake early, already dressed. The Bible with the hidden deed sits on my lap like a loaded promise. Downstairs, I hear Michael pacing. Elise whispers, "You'll scare her if you rush. Wait until she's had breakfast." Too late. I'm already standing in the doorway. "Rush what?" I ask. Elise jumps. "Oh, nothing, Mom. Just the insurance call." Michael clears his throat. "We need one more signature, Ma. Small thing. Updates for the lawyer." He holds out a pen. I look at it as though it's something sharp. "Breakfast first," I say. "I think better with tea." They follow me to the kitchen like students to a lesson. The kettle hums, steam rises, wrapping around us. I pour 3 cups, mine, his, hers, set the sugar between us like an hourglass. "So," I begin, "how much is the house worth these days?" Elise blinks. "Oh, we, haven't really checked." "Strange," I say. "The appraiser seemed to think you had." The silence turns dense. Michael looks at her. She looks anywhere else. I stir my tea once. "Do you remember, Michael, what your father said about property?" He shakes his head, wary. "He said a home doesn't belong to who holds the deed. It belongs to who built the walls and I built every wall here. Elise forces a laugh. Mom, you're tired. Let's not get emotional. Emotional? I smile. No, dear, I'm calculating. The kettle clicks off. The air breaks. Michael sighs, weary. Ma, you don't understand. Oh, I understand perfectly, I interrupt. You were going to sell the house, move me into a care facility, and use the money to start that real estate venture you think I don't know about. Elise's mouth opens, closes. Who told you? The bank did, the lawyer did, the paper trail did. Everyone's honest when they think you can't remember their faces. I take the folder from the counter and slide it across. Inside, Mercer's photos gleam under the kitchen light, each page a mirror they can't look into. Michael's hands shake. You hired someone? Of course. If I can remember betrayal, I can remember phone numbers. Elise whispers, You could have just asked. And what would you have said? She doesn't answer. I stand, calm as a Sunday sermon. You've stolen my name, my signature, my trust. I only plan to take one thing back: control. I leave the room before they can speak. By noon, I'm at Mercer's office. He hands me a sealed envelope. Everything you need: bank logs, witness statements, copies filed with the state. You're clean. They're not. Thank you, I say. He leans back. What will you do? I smile faintly. Something legal enough to sting. He chuckles. You've got that look, the calm before the paperwork. That evening, their lawyer, calls. Mrs. Hayes, your son wanted to confirm tomorrow's signing. Of course, I reply sweetly. I'll be there. May I bring the original deed for reference? Certainly. Good, I say. We should all read from the same Bible. He doesn't understand what I mean, but he will. At the firm the next day, the room smells of money and cold air. Elise sits poised, pearl earrings bright as denial. Michael looks pale. The lawyer adjusts his glasses. We're here to finalize the transfer. I lay my Bible on the table, open to the page that hides the deed. The edges whisper as I slide it free. This is the real one, I say. Signed by my husband, notarized 23 years ago. If you'd like to compare signatures, I brought the forged copies too. The lawyer blinks. Forged? I open Mercer's folder. The photos spill out like evidence in a crime drama. Elise inhales sharply. Michael sinks lower in his chair. I'd advise you, counselor, I say softly, to review who asked you to draw these papers, because I'll be forwarding everything to the state investigator tomorrow morning. Elise whispers, You wouldn't. I already did. The lawyer excuses himself to make a call. When the door closes, the room shrinks. Michael rubs his eyes. Mom, please. Please what? Forgive you before you've even apologized? He looks up, broken. I didn't mean. You meant every line you signed. My voice stays calm, but the edge beneath it could cut glass. Elise stands suddenly. We were trying to protect you. I tilt my head. From what? Aging or ownership? From losing everything. I built everything you're trying to lose. She glares, trembling. You're cruel. No, dear, I whisper. I'm awake. That night, the house feels lighter, emptier. Michael locks himself in the study. Elise slams doors that were never hers. I sit on the porch with my tea and watch the storm roll past the hills. The truth has its own weather. First thunder, then quiet. I think about what the lawyer said before I left. If what you've shown me is accurate, Mrs. Hayes, this could turn criminal. It is, I'd answered, just not in the way the law understands. The porch light flickers. The rain eases. Somewhere inside, Michael cries softly. I almost pity him. Almost, because now he knows I never lost my memory. I only misplaced my mercy. By dawn, the damage is done. Their accounts frozen. The investigators scheduled a visit. My name reinstated on every document. Quiet justice in tidy envelopes. When I bring them breakfast, they can barely look at me. Eat, I tell them. You'll need your strength. Consequences are heavy. No one speaks. The sound of cutlery against porcelain is the only apology I'll ever get. I clear my cup and whisper, "You wanted my signature. Now you'll live with it." The investigator arrives 2 days later, gray suit, clipboard, eyes that have seen this before. He shakes my hand. "Mrs. Hayes, thank you for your cooperation." Behind him, Michael hovers like a shadow that's learned to beg. Elise stays upstairs, pretending to be sick. We sit at the dining table, my battlefield. Papers spread between us like a confession dressed in ink. "Your son confirms," the man says, "that several documents were filed under your name without consent." I nod once. He turns to Michael. "Mr. Hayes, did you forge your mother's signature?" Michael's mouth opens, closes. I just wanted to make sure things were handled." "Handled?" I ask softly. "Is that what we call theft now?" He looks up, eyes wet. "Mom, please. I was trying to protect the family." "You were trying to own it." The investigator clears his throat. "We'll need both of you to sign statements. Mrs. Hayes, your assets are secured. Any sale is frozen." He gathers his files, polite, detached, then leaves us in the quiet wreckage. The door clicks shut. Michael sinks into the chair like gravity finally found him. "Ma," he whispers, "she said we could fix everything. I thought—" "You thought I was gone," I finish for him. "You counted on it." He nods, broken. I don't know why I listened. "Yes, you do," I say, "because love makes you weak, and greed tells you it's love." Footsteps on the stairs. Elise, pale, shaking, but still in costume. "Is he gone?" "Yes," I say, "and soon you will be too." She glares. "You can't throw me out. This is Michael's home." "No," I correct her. "It's mine. Always was. You just borrowed the furniture." Her voice cracks. "You planned this. You trapped us." "I gave you a choice," I say. "Loyalty or profit. You chose math." Michael stands, reaching for her hand. She pulls away. "You ruined us," she spits. I sip my tea. "No, dear, I revealed you." She moves closer, trembling. "You think people will believe you? You're old, confused." "Then they'll believe the recordings," I answer, setting the little red device on the table. Its light blinks once, alive. Elise freezes. "I found every word you said," I continue. "Every laugh about the old woman who won't remember. I remember everything." Michael whispers, "Mom, turn it off." "It's already off," I say, "but it's copied. One to my lawyer, one to the bank, one to the pastor who signed your lie." Elise's face drains of color. "You can't—" I already did. Silence spreads, thick and final. I rise, smoothing my dress. "You'll leave tomorrow. No police, not yet. You'll return what's mine in full and you'll disappear. That's mercy. Don't test for more." Michael's voice breaks. "Where will we go?" "Anywhere honesty isn't required," I say. He nods, tears streaking, but she still tries to fight. "You'll die alone, May." "Maybe," I whisper, "but at least I'll die as myself." The words land heavy, ending the conversation like a closing hymn. They pack through the night. I hear drawers slam, closets empty, muffled arguments turn desperate apologies. At dawn, their car starts. The engine coughs once, then fades down the road. I stand at the window, tea in hand. The driveway looks larger without their shadows. Half closure. That's what it feels like. Justice without celebration. The kind that doesn't heal but steadies. I whisper to the empty house. They wanted ownership. I wanted peace. Turns out, peace costs more. Then I turn off the porch light, letting the quiet come back home. Morning after they leave, the house smells of rain and lemon oil. I open every window, let honesty move through the rooms. Then I dress, gray suit, pearls, the armor of respectability, and drive into town. Small places remember stories, but they also love new ones, especially the kind wrapped in scandal. At the bank, the manager meets me at the door. "Mrs. Hayes, we heard. I'm so sorry about all this." I nod, hand him a folder. Inside, the forged transfers, Mercer's photos, the investigator's notes. "I'd like my accounts restored," I say. "And I'd like the joint access revoked." He skims one page, face tightening. "Consider it done. Would you like to press charges?" "Not yet," I answer. "First, I'd like the truth to travel." By noon, I'm at church. Sunday potluck crowd, casseroles steaming, gossip in the air. Pastor Grant greets me with that cautious kindness reserved for the recently wronged. "May, I didn't realize—" "You signed those papers," I interrupt softly. "You remember." He nods, ashamed. "Elise said you'd approved." "I forgive you," I say. "But you'll make it right." He swallows hard. "How?" "Read a statement next Sunday. Truth makes fine scripture." That night, I mail 3 envelopes, one to the county recorder, one to the newspaper, and one to the attorney who drafted the fake documents. Inside each, I write the same line in careful cursive. "When good people pretend not to notice, evil feels like paperwork." I sleep well for the first time in months. By the end of the week, the story spreads, the way wind spreads fire. Quiet first, then unstoppable. Headlines small but sharp. "Forgery probe targets local couple." Neighbors whisper my name in the grocery aisle. Not pity this time, respect. Elise's employer calls to clarify circumstances. Michael's business partners pull out of deals. Pending investigation. Consequences arrive like punctual guests. I don't celebrate. I keep folding laundry, watering plants, brewing tea. Revenge looks better in daylight when it dresses as order. The investigator stops by again. "They're cooperating," he says. "Funds returning to your accounts. The DA may offer a settlement." "I don't want money," I tell him. "I want acknowledgement." He nods, scribbles a note. "Public record will show your exoneration." "Good," I say. "Let it also show my patience." Sunday comes. The church is full. I sit in the front pew, calm as stone. Pastor Grant clears his throat. "Before we begin, I owe a correction. Papers I notarized last month were falsified. Mrs. May Hayes was the victim of deceit, not confusion. She remembers everything." Murmurs ripple through the congregation. Shock, shame, admiration. I don't smile. I just bow my head. Outside afterward, people stop me, touching my hand. "You're so strong." "No," I answer. "Just awake." 2 days later, a certified letter arrives. Michael's handwriting on the envelope. Inside, a check, modest but clean, and a note that simply says, "I'm sorry." I don't deserve forgiveness. I fold it once, place it in the Bible beside the deed. Repentance is worth keeping, even if it's late. Elise doesn't write. Instead, her lawyer calls to negotiate restitution. I tell him, "She owes me nothing that money can fix, but she'll make a statement clearing my name and she'll return my mother's vase." He hesitates. "That's all?" "That's enough." A week later, the vase arrives by courier. Cracked, glued back together, imperfect but upright. I place it on the mantel. Some things aren't meant to be flawless again. One evening, the local paper calls for a comment. "Mrs. Hayes, what would you say to families dealing with betrayal?" I think for a moment. "Betrayal doesn't break you," I say. "It edits you. You decide what stays in the story." The reporter laughs softly. "That's a quote." "Yes," I answer, "and a warning." The following month, the settlement finalizes. No prison, no spectacle, just signatures, reversed exactly the way they forged mine. Balance restored with interest. On the day it clears, I walk to the courthouse alone. The clerk hands me the official deed, embossed, new ink still faintly damp. "Congratulations, Mrs. Hayes. You're sole owner again." I trace the letters of my name, steady and real. Outside, the sky opens wide and blue. Justice, I've learned, doesn't thunder. It whispers. And when it whispers your name correctly, you finally exhale. That evening, I set the table for one, light a candle, and pour tea into my favorite cup. The steam rises in the quiet kitchen. The world smells of lemon and peace. I whisper to the empty chair across from me, "Harold, it's done. The house is ours again." Then I sip, slow and certain. Not victory, closure. Weeks pass. The mail comes lighter now. No threats, no invoices pretending to be love. Morning sun finds its old path across the kitchen tiles. I move slower these days, but the air around me feels clean. The vase sits on the mantel, glued seams catching the light like faint scars. It's not perfect, but it stands. So do I. Every evening, I make the same cup of tea. Mint, 2 sugars, no tremor in the hand. Steam curls against the window pane. Sometimes it looks like smoke, sometimes like forgiveness. I don't rush to name the difference anymore. Michael writes once a week from a small town 3 hours away. His letters are clumsy, all regret and half-truths, but they sound like him again. He asks about the garden. I tell him the roses came back. I don't mention how thorny they've grown. Elise remains silent. Silence suits her. It's the first honest language she's spoken. The neighbors stop by more often, bringing pie, asking for recipes, pretending they always believed in me. I let them. People need stories with tidy endings. Mine just happens to have paperwork. One afternoon, I find Anna, the nurse, on my porch. She's smiling, holding a small paper bag. "Vitamin refill?" she jokes. I laugh. "You're early." "I wanted to see you," she says. "Everyone in town's talking about what you did." What did I do? You remembered yourself. When she leaves, I pour 2 cups of tea. One for me, one for the woman I used to be. We sit together in the hush of evening and agree we did the right thing. I still keep the notebook, the one that started with, "They think I forgot." Now the last line reads, "I remembered everything worth keeping." Outside, the wind shifts through the trees, carrying away old noise. Inside, the clock ticks steady, unafraid. I don't need applause or revenge headlines. Justice was never about punishment. It was about space. Enough room to breathe, to think, to pour another cup. I stand at the window as dusk settles. The house hums its familiar tune, the kind you only hear when the noise is gone. The tea cools in my hand, sweet and honest. For the first time in a long time, I whisper something not to anyone else, but to the walls themselves. Thank you for keeping my secrets until I was ready to tell them. Then I close the curtains, let the day end quietly. Peace doesn't announce itself. It just stops running. 5